Yay Media Group.
Welcome to My Safe Word Is More with your hosts, everyone's favorite survivor and amazing racer, Cookie Kaplan, the hilarious Al Jackson. I'm your producer, Chris, and this is My Safe Word Is More.
I'm not everyone's favorite survivor, or I would have been called for Survivor 50.
Maybe you're so popular, they felt like you were going to overshadow.
Yes, let's go with that.
That's what your mom says
And
when you don't get asked out.
If one more person fucking asks me why I'm not on Traders, don't you think I want to be on that show? Don't you think?
But
I obviously would say yes to that.
You're officially
No one's asked.
in show business when your friends and family like start giving you career advice. Like people are like, why don't you just get an hour special? Oh, you should be on SNL. You know what?
Yeah.
I think Lauren Michaels is waiting to hear from my auntie.
You should, the amount of people that are like, you know who you should get as a sponsor? And I'm like, oh, who? We're not trying or anything.
Yeah, Buick. Thank you. All right.
So I have a couple of different topics to get through today. I am going to talk about some different things I've been doing because I am no longer on dating apps, so I have a little bit more time on my hands.
I feel like I don't know you anymore.
You're definitely going to feel like that after I tell you some of the things I've been doing lately.
Okay.
And then I am very excited to announce that we have our very first voicemail, and I have the best continuation email from not last episode, but the episode before. Cam wrote in to explain what happened with his gym crush.
Oh.
And you are not going to fucking believe the end of the story. So, and then all of that, we will then, if there's time, cap off with a Yelp review from
Sponsored by Anger.
Albert Jackson. Yeah. He is even Yelp reviewing something that just angered me.
Yeah.
So you can, maybe you could pay him. That's a service you could offer, you see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Scathing Yelp reviews. All I have to do is like put myself in the position of what I see as the little guy, and the anger just comes out. I don't like bullies, and I felt like you guys were bullied in this situation.
Yes.
And I made my feelings clear.
Great. Well, we cannot wait to hear that. So let's kick it off with, so since I'm not on dating apps anymore, I have decided to do a couple things. One, I am no longer entertaining bullshit brunches with my girlfriends repeatedly, never ending on loop. Like, I am actually going to try and do some different shit.
Okay.
One of the things that I have discovered, and I would so love it if you could write in, you'd have to be in a major metropolitan city. These types of groups are in like all the big cities, but I've never done one. I did an interview, so let me explain.
The Proud Boys is who she's talking about.
Obviously, that's what I'm referring
They're free.
to.
Right.
Yeah. I just have to have a white sheet. So there are these groups that they're singles groups, but they are very elaborate. So you're paying, first of all, you have to go through an interview process, and then you're paying a monthly fee. They have literally 30 events a month, like an event every single night. About half of those events are more complex, like could require like admission prices and different things. And then
complex.
Like some of them are just, okay, we're going to rent out this bar and we're going to have a trivia night with all of our singles.
Yes, what the fuck am I paying an entry fee for?
Well, right. So that was the problem. When I interviewed with this other company, they made me go through, at that point, it was like an hour interview. And I just kept being like, how much does this cost? What's the commitment? Like, just open with that, but they won't. They make you go through this whole rigmarole. So I went through this whole thing, and then when they got to, and the reason I knew they existed is I used to do the show that I did, that improv show. Somebody from that company was on the panel for one of those shows. That's how I learned about it.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, that one, I don't even give a fuck. That one's called Events and Adventures. So I get on this
Sounds like
call.
a camping group for kids that can't afford.
Well, so what got me started was I was looking for, neither of you have heard of this. It's called Flash Pack, and it's solo traveling. Because I really wanted to get into solo traveling and not be so reliant on like, where do my friends want to go? Oh my God, Erica's vegetarian. Not Erica Cobb, the other Erica. You know, like everywhere I go, I'm like, well, I just want to travel by myself, but I don't want to actually travel by myself. And so you can do these like Flash Pack trips.
You know you can just travel by yourself without involving a third party.
Well, but I want a full itinerary. And so in order to do that economically, you need a group of other singles.
Or AI, but continue.
Well, I'm not very good at this. So anyways, I knew that this company offered like 6 trips a year, you know, to Egypt, to all these places. So I said, well, fuck it. What could it be on a monthly? So what do you think it costs? This was Events and Adventures, which maybe it's changed since then. Guess what it costs per month? Mind you, I still have to pay for most activities, but just to be in the know.
This is the only hint that I want. Am I going to be mad when I hear the actual price, or am I going to be like, okay?
I was mad, but maybe you
Okay.
think that this is worth the money because they certainly did.
Okay, so they're looking at you as a single that wants to get off the app, so you have money to get away from that gulag that is the sludge that is humanity.
You have to have a certain income to even get in the group. Which,
yeah, so I'm gonna say they're like, oh, you don't mind paying 3 racks, 3,000.
well, so
That's
it's
a lot a month.
No.
Let me amend
Okay.
it to.
He always guesses too much. When
Yeah.
you think he's gonna guess like $200.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's $500 a month.
So it's they. I remember them being between like $250 and $300 a month, but almost all their activities cost money. So I was like,
So basically $500 a month.
yeah. So yes. So I was like, in my head, I was like, well, I'm gonna need to see your roster of gentlemen.
Right.
I mean, because from what I could tell, they had 2 tables at a trivia night that I already go to with Chris. So what? I'm not paying a monthly fee for this. So I ended up not doing it. Well, cut to, I took an Ambien and got a little wily, and I hate when Ambien Corinne does this. And I submitted my information, like, would love to learn more. Here's my phone number, my email, you know.
I did that once with health insurance,
Oh, for
and that
fuck's
was the
sake.
worst mistake I've ever. Chris, it was when we were on the air.
Oh God.
I just looked, do you want to know more about health?
Oh.
14 texts an
Oh.
hour. People, an Indian guy in Plant City, Florida,
I
was
just did it
calling
with
me.
24-hour fitness, by the way.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! Once your name gets on one of those sites, it's over.
Totally. So anyway, so this woman calls me and she's like,
Heard your pussy's dry.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. You want to get off the apps and you want to get off. I got you. So she had, I have to say, an excellent sales pitch. And I said to her, I was like, listen, I don't want to mince words here. I will sit there and I will do your 45-minute interview, blah, 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 blah. Tell me what it costs per month because it's going to waste your goddamn time. There is definitely a threshold to what I will pay.
That's
And
your sales pitch.
Yeah. I go, and what's the minimum? The minimum is 8 months. You have to join it for at least 8 months.
Okay.
And it's $70 a month. And I was like, okay, that's reasonable. For $70 a month, I'll skip the fucking brunch that gets me nowhere with my friends. And I'll spend the $70 that I was spending a week on brunch.
That sounds like the baseline price. They're like, now, do you want the cute guys? Because you're going to need to go
So,
to our gold level.
I will not know anything until tomorrow. Unfortunately, we'll record the next time we record. I'll have more information. Tomorrow is my interview, and they were like, "Please do not be in the car." I'm like,
What?
"How dare you? I could be wherever I want." Also, just go to my Instagram. Are you that concerned with what I look like? And this woman she's the president of the company that called me and she said she had people out sick and she likes to get in the trenches from time to time. And I was like, all right.
Please don't be in there. But if you're
How many
attractive,
people
aren't you
were
still
out sick?
attractive in the car?
Well, you would think.
Okay. The seatbelt takes 2 points
I'm
off
like,
my lips.
I guess I'm gonna have to fucking do my hair tomorrow. So, anyways, she was like, I'm 5'10". I don't like short men. I understand. She's like, I am a reasonably attractive person in my 50s. And I was like, what age are we talking here? And she goes, it's all older because the younger people, they go on the apps. And she's like, this is like, between like upper 30s to up to like mid 50s.
Okay. Are you cool with that demo?
Okay, so the whole reason I'm telling the story is that I'm actually not doing this to meet a guy. This is really true. I said this to her. I have decided in my curmudgeon era, I don't like being around couples. I don't fucking like it. It makes me feel bad. I don't like it. So I am going to pay $70 to find out where I can go where there are no couples. 0 chance of seeing anyone doing anything coupley.
Okay, so that's
what I'm paying for. I don't really care how good looking the people are. And like I pitched it to Jessica thinking maybe she'll join it with me. And she was like, yeah, I want to do new things, but like, do I want to meet new people? And I'm like, I don't even know if that has to be. I mean, I'm going to see what their events are tomorrow. But if it's bullshit like trivia night, then no, thank you. But if they're doing cool shit, then like, yeah.
What would classify as cool shit to you?
Well, it's funny. You should ask. I'm
I'm
going
genuinely
to
curious.
tell you. Well, I've been trying to do different cool shit. One of the things I did most recently was Erica Cobb invited me over to do EMS.
EMS. Okay.
You're not going to know what it was because I didn't know what it was. And I'm like way more in the scene.
I know what it is.
Eye meditation thing. Is it the thing that
EMDR?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Good guess.
Because I re-listened to the conversation you had with the psychic, and was that the same thing?
No. So this is let me call up the exact verbiage. So basically it stands for,
Want me to just tell you?
yeah, because
Electronic
now
muscle stimulation.
I'm on the wrong picture. Okay. And so the concept is that you work out, you get totally naked and they give you like long john like shorts and then like a long sleeve shirt. Then they wet down a vest that has sensors in it, and then 2 arm cuffs, 2 things that go over your thighs, and like 1 thing for under your ass. And it's sending electrical pulses into your muscle that make it like way, way, way harder to do shit. And it's quite painful.
And what?
Yeah.
Do they also?
It's like if you do a workout and then you get your muscles electronically stimulated at the same time, it's like times 10 the workout.
Yes. So it
what are you
says
gonna fight Tyson after? Why do you
the
need to do this?
impulses force your muscles to contract. You exercise as you normally would, doing cardio, strength training, or other exercises, but you can work out more muscles at once and you can speed up your workout. So basically, this is only 20 minutes. Let's get back to the actual reason why I'm doing this. So first of all, I love when somebody comes at me with an interesting plan. I will almost always say yes.
Yes.
Really?
Low grade torture.
I mean, especially if it's working out related, my God, yes. But what happened is Eric and Anthony went in on a couples thing and they come to her house and like set her up and do it. And then Anthony, like they have like 8 sessions. He popped out after 2 and was like, I don't want to do this.
Right.
So the part of Anthony will be played by Cookie Kaplan. And so I got to do it with her, and I was like kind of poo-pooing it. I mean, it was quite painful when I was doing it. Like it hurt, and I was concerned, how much should it hurt? And like, when is it actually like just fucking you up? And the next day I was a little sore, but she told me, she goes, it's the day after that. The day after that, fucking wheelchair bound. Could not get on the toilet, could not, which I already have problems.
Right.
Could not do anything. Couldn't fucking move.
Did you see like a difference in the mirror? Like, are you ripped?
No, but I was like, felt like I'd been in a serious car accident. Like,
maybe that's what it was.
It hurt so bad. And I'm like, I don't know if that really translates into muscles, but I got to do it obviously more than once.
You could just like work a job with your hands. Do you think somebody that's like working construction, pouring cement all day and using a jackhammer in the middle of the highway, you think they're coming home for electronic
and doing EMS?
Yeah.
Not at this price point. Well, I don't know. I just thought, well, wow, something
I would
to
try
do.
that.
Yeah. So
Are you guys crazy?
Well,
I would totally do
here.
that.
And actually, I'm going to give, you guys will see, if you're not watching us on video, you should be. On video, you'll be able to see the suits that we're suited up in.
Okay. Yes, they're wearing all black suits that you would normally wear with those balls on them when you're recording. Like,
oh yeah, a green screen situation.
Like a green screen. Yeah, it looks like you guys are shooting an X-Men movie.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Yeah. So I have some footage. But going with that theme, I had my friend Marla. She was like, "When can we do brunch?" And I was like, "I've had it with brunch. Come at me with a better idea." And she did.
I think that was a fair question from her. I think maybe you overreacted.
I did.
Okay.
I was like, "Enough with the brunch. Enough." So anyways, we're going to go to break. And after this, I'm going to tell you what I did, because you really, for $1 million, could not guess what I ended up doing with her. Okay. So Marla hits me and she's like, okay, well, she was like, I bid at a policeman's ball on a private lesson at the police academy.
Is it beating a black man to confession?
Look, I had no idea.
On video.
Yeah.
How do you siphon off some of the drugs that were confiscated?
Plant the evidence. Plant the evidence.
So
Force them to plea. Force them to plea.
I didn't know what it would entail, but I was very down for it. And so she's like, you know, it's going to be a couple hours. I'm going to bring her son, and her son has like 2 friends. And so it was all of us. We were getting these private simulation training at the police academy. So I willingly went.
By the way, a black man would never do this.
Well,
I would never go to the police department for any reason.
I'm telling you, as I was pulling up, first of all, I pulled up and I took a picture of the outside, and then there's a sign under that was like no photography, no video. Like I already was like, and I thought, why?
You're like, you got me, Shotgun Willies.
I was
you
like,
did that already.
Yeah, I did. So I'm like, why did I willingly come to a precinct? Like, it seemed like a bad idea, but I was like, I'm gonna see. And Marla is extremely, you know, she really supports the police, and she donates, and she's on the board. And so she really wanted me to like experience this with her. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So we get there and they put us in, the first thing they do is there's this really crazy room with simulator. Like the whole wall is all these LED panels, and it's a simulation. And they give you a gun, they calibrate the gun. First, they want you to learn how to shoot the gun. And so everyone's going to do like an accuracy sort of test with the gun.
Right.
And this is not a real gun. This is a gun that's connected to the simulator, right? And so everybody owns guns except for me. and everyone was like regular shooters. Like Marla takes lessons, and like her son and his friends are all in aerospace, so they're like, I have, this. The lieutenant in charge was asking us like all what kind of guns, and I'm like, I have no, like, I'm really kind of good at darts. That was all I said.
That's quite the brag.
Yeah.
You usually only hear that on cruise ships and old folks' homes.
But I have like no hand-eye coordination except for like darts and flip cup. That is it.
Okay.
But it's very clear. Like if you were to play darts with me, you'd be like, what the fuck? It's just a weird thing I'm able to do. I don't know why.
Consistently.
Yeah.
I really want to play darts with you now because I'm also good at darts.
Yeah.
There's a place here in Denver that it's all darts.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I just looked into them possibly for Erica's birthday.
Okay,
Flight
it's
Club.
fun. I went there for a birthday. It was super fun. Yeah, one of Sarah's friends had
It's
it.
definitely not one of your friends. It's definitely one of Sarah's friends.
Yes.
Okay, so the guy is like, okay, so everybody goes, and I'm so nerved out, not because I deeply care about being good or bad at this. It's just I knew that if it takes a really long time for me to get through this simulation, it's just everyone else. It's delaying everyone else.
Right.
And so like
that's how I feel about golf.
Yes.
I don't want to golf because I feel like somebody
The
like Chris
pressure.
is going to be behind me, and I can't even find my ball. And
Yeah.
then you got to be like play through, and then I got to watch 4 fucking white dudes go, and like I don't want to wait, and I don't want to slow people up. So I'm like.
So I get up there, and so first of all, like the one of her son's friends, who's like the biggest gun owner, gets up there, and it's both accuracy and timing. You want to get through the course quickly, but you also don't want to waste a lot of bullets. He shoots, and it's like he was like 72%, let's say, and then like her son goes, he's at like 50%. She goes, she's at like 55%, and then I go, and I of 30 shots only missed 2. I was
Are you serious?
well in the 90s. Yeah. And then the guy was like, why did you act like you were going to be bad at this? And I was like, I guess I could shoot up a mall anytime I want. Like I had no idea.
People are aiming when they're at the mall.
And I don't know why I was so good at it, but I was very good at it. And then we got to
Did they try and
shoot.
recruit you?
No. No. I asked a lot
I think you'd be good at police work. Chris, have you ever thought about that? She doesn't give a fuck. She could walk into a dead body situation and she would step over it with her coffee. Like, you have a good mentality for being a take no shit cop that could.
I think it'd be a bold move to make that career change at this point.
Yes.
Well, so he's like, so there, we shot tasers. I wrote it down, a 40mm launcher. I was like, I'm never going to remember. A 40mm launcher, that's what it was. And then he was like, do you want to do the agility training? You have to get through the course in 63 seconds. There's like a chain link fence. And I was like, not to be a bitch, but I saw some of the recruits coming through, and I'm pretty sure I could do this course in my sleep. It's fine. I would be fine. You got to jump through a window, but the window's only like waist high. Like, all right. But it's a really cool.
Did you do it?
No, I didn't.
You would have been so good at it.
No, I would have. I was wearing a crop top, and I was like, I didn't dress appropriately for this fucking adventure.
I think for the cops you did. Yeah, just try and climb through that window.
An
Like, come on.
insane outfit.
Shuts it 6 more inches.
Do the agility test.
Your ass seems to be stuck.
Yeah, I know.
I'll get the shit.
I went braless in a crop top. I don't know how any of my friends take me anywhere. I was wearing underwear.
Oh, good.
So there's that. Okay, but here's the best part. So I end up having to leave a little bit early. They decide they're going to run the last simulation. I'm going to leave. And so I'm on my way out, and I explained to the cop that, like, I really appreciated the time he spent. And I was like, I don't have a great, like, view of cops because they haven't helped me in any of the situations. I said, I had a death threat that was mailed directly to my house when I moved here, and it was concerning. I went to the police department, and the police officer there told me they couldn't give me surveillance, but they suggested I get a gun. I went to the Tanner gun show. I was lost. I was like, how do you know what the hell? And they're so expensive. I'm like, I don't understand what to buy. So I explained to him, I was like, so what I ended up doing was I got the kind of taser you have to hold against somebody, which is fucking useless. The second you remove it, it stops hurting the area. So I don't know what the fucking, it's like a magic wand. It's stupid. It also has to be charged. I have a fucking 4-story house. I never know where the hell the charger and the taser are. So, okay. And then I go, but I also bought, like, honestly, I've said this on other podcasts. I probably have between 8 and 10 pairs of brass knuckles. Some are connected to knives. They're everywhere in my house. They're always on me. I have them in my car. I have them in my purse.
Do you have them on you now?
They're in my car, yeah.
Are they legal to have?
And there it is. So
So you're telling the cop all about
this. So I'm telling the cop, I was like, but don't worry. I'm pretty well trained in hand-to-hand combat, and I'm pretty confident I could use brass knuckles. And he's like, and he says that, he goes, do you have them on you right now? And I was like, no, I didn't bring my purse
what
inside.
will my black friends tell me to say right now?
I go, I mean, there's definitely one in my console. There might also be one on the side pocket of my door. I was trying to explain how prepared I am. And he was like, those are extremely illegal.
Extremely illegal?
Yeah. He was like, that is a completely illegal thing to have. And I was like, it was like I walked in and I was like, you guys like blow?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the fuck.
I have a
was
pet
like,
tiger with no numbers on it.
I was just so, I was like staring at him in shock. He's like, I'm not going to do anything, obviously, but you should know that they're just illegal.
Here's what he could have done.
Come on, tell me.
It's a class 1 misdemeanor, the most serious misdemeanor, and you could have gotten up to 18 months in jail and or a fine of up to $5,000.
Yeah. Who
Tell
knew?
them what they won.
I just
Who knew?
I don't understand. But I was like, but I went to a gun show and it wasn't like I went behind the building to buy these. They were just for sale everywhere. Why are they being sold?
Because it's a gun show, and after you buy them, who gives a shit?
I
They don't
guess.
care if you get busted with them. People sell you drugs; they assume you'll get in trouble for those too.
But they
I just
don't
want to
do it
see.
so
I just want to say one
freely.
quick thing. The key to a good self-defense weapon is something you can use from a distance.
Well, I know.
You do not want to be right up
No.
against some guy with brass knuckles. He'll grab your hand and start hitting you
Well,
with your
right,
own
right,
brass
right.
knuckles.
Well,
which would
you
be
need bear spray.
Yeah, no, I don't trust myself. I maced myself in college and that was incredibly painful. So I don't fuck with mace at all.
Well, but still.
But my
I
father,
have bear spray too. That's the way.
oh my God, if you
You want
ever
to keep a distance.
if you ever got it on you, it does not come off for so long that like it would still show up when I was at blacklight parties like 2 weeks later. Mace is very difficult to get off your skin.
Really?
Anyways, yes, really. Yes.
And are you sure it was mace that you were seeing weeks later?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
My understanding
Under
is
that
it was
black light.
mace.
Yeah. You tell you,
Yeah.
what's this splooge on our pillow, honey? Mace.
No. It was on my body, like in my hair and shit.
Mm.
All right.
All right,
Okay.
guys. All right.
I'm just agreeing with what you're saying.
Anyway, so I told a police officer that I was carrying paraphernalia on me that is totally illegal. And
That
like,
is- I can't believe you went there to do that. I'm surprised they didn't recruit you. We need to write a screenplay about this. Like, I could just, you have such a demeanor to be like a no nonsense cop.
yeah, but I'm not compassionate enough.
Go with that.
Well, like, I mean,
You're not compassionate enough for our justice system.
I feel like
I got some
this is-
documentaries you should watch.
This is the only thing I think of when I say that because it's the only thing I've ever seen cops in fucking Denver do is when they have to raid the tent cities and they have to get the homeless out. Like I would just be like kicking their shit, putting in dumpsters.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have the
but they're
heart
nice
or lack
about it.
thereof to do it. Like you would go in there and they just because they would love to have you because you would do what they want to do, but they've got a little bit too much church in there and plus body cam. But you would just go in there and be kicking shit. And when people saw you online doing that, they'd be like, "Oh fuck this chick," and they see you be like, "She's cute though."
I
Like
mean,
you would get a huge following of Trump supporters.
I thought this is for a different episode, but I thought the tent city that had erected below my previous apartment, I thought that they had gone in my car and stolen a fur coat. Turns out I just had misplaced it. But I went through Tent City looking for my
Right.
fur coat like a fucking maniac with brass
You
knuckles.
went through?
I did.
Wait, what do you mean you went through?
I was like, I know one of you motherfuckers has my fucking white fur coat. And like I just started going door to door, if you will.
That was probably the first time in their life they even knew white fur coats existed.
I was so convinced that they had taken my jacket and it just happened. So I thought, because I was moving stuff from my then rental to my new home and I had stuff in my car and I just thought that I'd put the fur in my car and it was such a quick turnaround and we had this homeless problem. So I was like, they can't go that far. They don't have a car. It's got to be in Tent City. So I was like, man up and go to Tent City and
Have
find
you
your fucking
figured
jacket.
out a way to apologize to all the men you got falsely arrested that day at their arraignment? My bad, bro. It's in
No,
my
but
top
I did
closet.
have a moment of clarity when I came home and it was just in my closet. I was like, yeah, maybe a little
Yeah.
panicked for nothing. We're gonna take a break now, but I am very excited to share our very first ever voicemail.
Ooh.
I know, and we have our Cam follow-up email, and then we'll get to your Yelp review. So let's
need
do that.
to hear what Cam has
Okay.
to say.
Okay, guys. So you can call us at our Google Voice number. well, which I don't fucking know offhand. We will have it on the screen.
Great plug.
I know, shit. I don't know where I was thinking that was going to go.
Dialing
All
numbers
right.
in a random combination.
If you're listening and you want to call and leave us a voicemail like you're about to hear, it's 720-295-1209. And I just think it's a fun way to get you guys to call in and not have to like write out your elaborate stories. I know you're going to be a little nervous. You should be.
Yeah.
I don't have any follow-up. You should be nervous.
Threaten
You're
the
calling
listeners.
into the greatest comedy show of all time. Your shit might get played. You should be nervous. Now, that is in stark contrast with Ben, who called in because he was wasted. And I want to say that I love it.
I love that.
That is very on brand. Okay,
Yeah.
so he has a simple question. I'm going to play it for you.
Corinne, Al, this is Ben. Long time, first time. I'm drunk at the casino with my partner. How do I convince him to give me an extra $500? Do you have anything you want to add? XOXO, love you. All right, bye.
Okay, he wants an extra $500.
From his boyfriend who's standing next to him, and they are adorable gay
Yes.
men drunk at a casino. I wish I knew which casino.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that matters, but I will say this. We don't need location, but I will say this. This is why you hold out one thing that you know your partner wants.
Oh, anal?
Well, I'm assuming some anal has gone down. You just have to go down with that one thing where it's like, you are kind of on the fence. Like if he's like, I want to bring 2 people into our bedroom. Like, you're like, that's a bridge too far. But now that bridge is a little bit shorter with $500. So you gotta hold off. You can't give everything because you need to save something for the, I really want to do this. All right, call your 2 guys across the hall. Save out. What do you say?
I think that's a great note. And I actually, I was literally just projecting myself. I was in Vegas and I really wanted to marry this guy. And I was like, I figured I got him all the way to Vegas. How hard would it be to get him in like the little white chapel or whatever?
That's a step.
It turns out it was a step. But he, as you guys know, I'm an anal virgin. And he really, really was like, that's all he wanted. And I was like, then take me to the chapel. Saving it for marriage. So.
Wow, and?
He was like, I guess we won't be doing anal.
Oh.
I really thought he would go for it, honestly. I thought he would.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
So in your case, as Al was saying, I guess anal's not that exciting if you're gay men, but like that was a stupid suggestion. I was just thinking of my own
that
self.
was Corinne's like draw 4. What
Well,
about anal sex? All
Even
right.
you want to hear the saddest? I'm just going to share this because we're in a vulnerable podcast sometimes. The saddest thing I ever did with him was I was like, I decided I wasn't going to see him anymore if things weren't going to move forward. We had been like messing around with each other for years at this point. Like we're still friends. He called me on my birthday. Like he's great. However, he didn't want, like I'm not the person he wanted to end up with, right? It's just the way it is. Anyways, but
Did he get married?
No, never got married. And he's like older than I am, but he really just wants like, he wants like a pious, nice young girl that doesn't talk back, that, you know, and he loved hanging out with me, obviously, but I'm not the person he was going to marry. Anyways, I had gotten sick of like the back and forth. I was like, well, like, do you want to date me? And he's like, no, for the 11th time. No, I do not. But like, I would love to spend a weekend, you know, like we would hang out for like days on end. Like I would stay there for like 3-4 days. And I just loved him. And Matt loved him, my best friend in LA. Anyways, so I told him that I was not going to sleep with him anymore unless he said, I love you. And he was like, when do I have to say it? And I was like, during sex. And he was like, okay. So he just kept saying, I love you. I knew he didn't love me, but that was part of the deal. And he was like, whatever. Okay.
That's all you needed was the words?
Yeah. I was like, just can you just pretend a little bit? It's very sad. I know. It's a sad story.
Oh my God.
Anyways, moving on.
Jeez.
I know. But we're still really like very friendly. I mean, obviously, but.
What is this guy waiting on? You might as well like wife it up. He's already saying I love you in bed.
No. He's fully living with some other girl now, currently, and has been for like 6 years.
Yeah, he still called you though.
Yeah, he does.
That's a thing.
Okay, so let's do Cam's follow-up email. So everyone listening, Cam is one of our very lovely patrons that he wrote in to, not last episode, but the episode before, saying that he had a gym crush and it had gone south. Basically, he was interested in going for a hike with a guy as friends, but the guy was kind of cute, admittedly, and the guy ghosted him, and it was very awkward. Like he was like, yeah, see you this weekend, buddy. And then he texted him like, hey, you still up for a hike? And then the guy changed his gym schedule. And so if you'll remember, does anyone here remember what my advice was?
No.
No.
I said, make it as uncomfortable as possible.
Oh,
Take
yeah,
your
pull
dick
your
out.
dick out.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Right. Okay. So here's a fun choose your own adventure. Before he heard the podcast, he had an update for us.
All right. Is he now a registered sex offender because of your advice?
Update. After a month of internalizing all of this and things being incredibly awkward at the gym, I finally decided to send a text to just try and clean the air. In a nutshell, I took blame on myself for the situation so I didn't come across as accusatory. His response? No worries, man. Forgot to respond to that text. Had a birthday party. So I have been a basket case for a month and he has probably not thought about it once. Cool. He's definitely straight. So if
Yeah,
you're
that's
taking
hilarious.
his dick out,
Yeah, that's what happens when you jump steps. And a lot of times, I've always said this about people that think that they have haters or like, oh, this guy Chris, he hates me. The people that hate you the most on the planet at most think about you 6 times a month. A lot of times it's mostly in your head, unless you have like definitive proof. Like I asked them out and they said absolutely no. Then it's usually just he forgot or you don't know what he just found out his dad's got stomach cancer. You don't know what the fuck is happening, but you look at their face and you're like, oh, he's ghosting me. This dude might be in another place. So like, I think it's good what Cam did where he's like, he got closure. Because usually the closure is just like, oh, I was really feeling you. It's just like,
Well,
yeah, my sister got sick. And you're
also-
like, oh, I shouldn't have sent that text.
if you write into a podcast where one of the co-hosts is incredibly anxious, I'm always going to err on the side of, yeah, he hates you, you know? And also, the idea that you think the person I hate the most in this world, I'm only thinking about 6 times a month is fucking insane.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Really? How many times do you think about people you hate?
A lot.
Daily?
Yeah.
In what capacity? Like you doing something to them?
Yeah. Tell
How
them
many
off.
people do you hate?
Oh, there's a few.
Like
but there's like a list.
6?
There's like a top greatest hits, that I
Yeah.
hate more than others, yeah.
Oh.
But I wish ill upon them. I hope their life is destroyed,
Yeah.
you know?
I kind of, I'll show you.
But I think that's part of manifesting. If I want them to have really terrible lives, I have to think about it often.
Here, really quickly, read what that is.
Are you getting evicted?
No.
You're in violation of ordinance. Oh,
Yeah,
cleaning the sidewalk.
I got another sidewalk cleaning. Even though we had been out of town and we had 2 beyond Thunderdome snowstorms.
Yeah.
And my next door neighbors, who I took a picture of, had a ton of fucking snow on their sidewalk. And
Why
I
does someone
thought
hate you?
SAR had to talk me out of it because that officer's name is on here and their email address.
Mhm.
And I think I'm gonna email them daily, like several times a day, asking legitimate questions about inches from the sidewalk. And
You could.
okay, see, you're not the person because you're
Yeah,
supposed to talk
don't
me out
do
of
I
that.
mean, I
Don't do that?
I don't
No.
like to mess
No.
with
It's just
police.
a waste of your time.
I-
Just
that's-
let it all go. Anyone
No.
that ever did me wrong, I don't even give a shit anymore.
No, I mean, I would find
Don't care.
out where is he on Facebook, this officer?
Oh, well, I think it's an older black lady because her name's Abigail
Well,
something.
let's get someone to fuck her husband.
Okay.
Don't give it that energy.
I know, but
Don't give
Chris,
her name
we're
out.
filled with hate. I have to get this out.
I don't hate anybody.
Yeah.
No?
No,
Are you serious?
I don't hate
I'll
anybody.
give you something to hate.
Yeah, I don't hate anybody. There's people that have done me wrong in my life, but time sort of makes it all kind of fuzzy, and it doesn't matter anymore. I don't care.
Would you hate my ex? After
If
what
I
she
was
did-
you,
Yeah.
for a while I would,
It's
but eventually I
dissipated.
wouldn't.
It's dissipated.
Time only makes my hate stronger. I
Oh.
hate the most. The person that I really hate the most is this girl from my high school. Well, she wasn't from my high school. She was from a neighboring high school. She
Was
had the,
this fucking Grease?
I hate her the most. Second worst is this bitch from college that took my boyfriend. You know who you are.
Mm.
I didn't take him. I left him for an athlete and then came back to reclaim him and he had been snatched up. But anyways, whatever.
So she
That's-
didn't even do anything wrong, and you.
Can we get a sponsor for petty grievances?
This is insane.
But those two are number 1 and 2 on my list. Then, Sugar from Survivor. There's people on the list.
Yeah.
You'd know some of the people on the list.
And I have an issue with Chase up the street. They held a check of mine for 14 days. And when I talked to the guy, he was real smug. and just like, oh, well, maybe this amount of money isn't normally going in this account. And I'm like, you're right. The last 2 checks I put in were way bigger. But he was just like that. This is why it's being held because you don't have that much. I was like, it's a new account. So of course not. But I don't know. I've thought about him a lot. in the last couple of days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have time or no?
I mean, how long is your Yelp
Yeah.
review?
I don't know. Let's just do it.
All right, go for it.
It's going to be great with that energy.
Yeah, right? Well, let's get
More
jumping-
hating.
Get everyone up to speed. So I went to Nana's Dumplings.
You can't say it.
Nanas. Stop saying it's not. It's not a.
Not.
Yeah, just say Nana.
Nanas.
Okay.
It's
You
Nanas.
do a weird thing with your neck and it makes it come out. You go, Nanas.
I'm
Just
very
say it.
uncomfortable with it. Anyways, I'm never going there again. But they wronged me and Erica, and and they asked us to leave because they had a reservation waiting. And so Al has taken it upon himself to write a Yelp review.
Yes. Again, Corinne this is part of Corinne's like just a daily thing that happened to her. I was really mad about that. You don't ask my girls to leave after they didn't plop down some money. So I will be posting this to Yelp tonight, but I want you guys to hear it first. And it's titled Nana's Dumplings. Not Nana's, Nana's Dumplings.
How do we know it's not Nana's?
Because the only person that calls it Nana is Little Kim.
Or Nanas, but it's not Nanas.
Yeah. You're saying it's so weird.
I don't know. I don't hear it.
Okay. We begin.
Okay.
Dear Mr. Manager Man, picture 2 girlfriends sitting at a table eating dumplings. Dumplings which from all accounts are fine. It's a chain restaurant that makes dumplings. It is what it is. Back to the ladies. After ordering food and drinks, as well as a to-go order for one of the women's husbands, we are now at a bill of roughly $200. As the girls waited for the to-go order, they ordered another round of drinks, so now we're probably north of $240. And we haven't tipped yet. Trust me, I'm sure the tip was gangsta. The good news is the drinks have arrived. The bad news, Mr. Manager, you arrived too. He tells them that he's sorry, but they need to leave. He tells them that there was a reservation for their table and that they needed to leave immediately. No, they did not have time to finish the drinks that they had ordered and paid for, and they needed to pay for those drinks and then throw those drinks away. Or maybe he suggested that they donate them to the incoming reservation. Maybe this place has a pay it forward ideology, but I doubt it. Priorities, people. There's a reservation, so these 2 needed to go. Honestly, so far, I'm on your side, Mr. Manager Man. Why didn't you tell me there was a reservation? Was this reservation Prince Harry and the Duchess of Suits? Michelle and Barack doing a surprise drop-in? I honestly can't contain my excitement anymore. Who demanded that this table be cleaned and cleared so that these people may sit down? Who was there, Mr. Manager Man? I'll tell you. A gaggle of nobodies. A collection of nobodies took precedent over 2 highly paying customers. Yet you decided to kick her and the other don't mind paying $250 for dumplings friend out because you had the obligation of sitting a bunch of zeros. Now, Mr. Manager Man, let's have a little chit chat about your situation because you found yourself in quite a pickle. First rule of being Mr. Manager Man is you don't bother the clientele with problems that would best be described as your business. You might have gone up to them and said, we're short 2 dishwashers and one of the eyes on the stoves is out. It's also your business. What does that have to do with these 2 women that just paid $250,000 for Amazon grade sake and dumplings with less flavor than the Hallmark Channel's Friday night lineup?
Very nicely done.
Let's wind this down with some facts. You're not good at your job as a manager if you can't handle a slight overlap in tables. Here's how you do it. If you feel like you must sit the gaggle of zeros, that's your discretion as the Mr. Manager Man. Then you comp my friend's drinks, apologize profusely, and offer a free appetizer or something else bland. If you choose to handle it as I would have, you let the reservation know that their table is still being used and politely direct them to the bar and you comp their drinks. You decided to comp nothing, charge for a round of drinks, and then dump them down the sink, which is probably why they hired you. They said when this person self-admittedly makes a mistake, they punish the customer. Rule number 1 for business. I remember reading that in Suge Knight's book, How to Run a Restaurant Like Death Row Records. You don't have multiple locations for no reason. I'll give you that. Finally, you did a poor job. You can only get away with this behavior if you've got 5-star kitchen-like flavor. And let's be honest, buddy, you ain't 5-star kitchen. You cater to TikTokers and people that are scared to go in federal because of the abundance of potholes and working class people. Please do better. And most importantly, be nice to my friends. They're wonderful people and they didn't deserve that.
Well, I appreciate
Yelp
this.
review.
I know. I do feel like you should have mentioned that we're both famous, but whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You can edit it. You haven't sent it yet.
Also, all I kept thinking was, you're an Arrested Development fan, right?
Ish.
Mr. Manager is very the banana stand.
Did I watch Arrested Development? I don't know. I know I watched Schitt's Creek.
Oh,
All right.
those are different.
So add the fame thing, knock about a third of that out, and you got a great Yelp review there.
Gotcha.
I loved it. Thank you, Al.
You're welcome.
Take us home.
Yeah, listen, a lot of haters. You guys are haters, and I want to help you with that.
Oh,
So we've got to learn how to let go of the hate, because the reality of when you get mad and you hate forever, it's just the people you're hating on, they don't care. They don't know. They don't care. They're not feeling anything. You're the one feeling all the negative feeling of hating while they feel nothing and aren't giving you a thought.
no. They're feeling the energy of hate that I'm sending to
No,
them.
they're not.
Hmm.
Nope. There's no energy you feel. They don't give a flying F, and you're only harming your own energy. Let go of the hate.
But what if that's the only way you can feel? I'm like a cutter, but for anger.
All right, fuck it. Hate everyone. I don't care.
I mean, I'm doing all these spells for nothing.
Yes.
Yes. And with that, people listen to this podcast not only to hear you talk about spells, but they listen because this is not a podcast about life, my dear.
It's a podcast about how I own 8 pairs of illegal brass knuckles.
Come get you some.